What cat am I supposed to say? Ho ho ho. It's Look, as the people and the audience start to come in, it is our last live of the year. It is a look back. Actually, it's a reflection of. We've used reflection of success. It is. It's a
Yeah.
successful year for the APA, but it's a time where actually it's probably Cat's one-to-one. That's what I'm actually doing. It's looking back at what you've done, Cat, over the last year,
Oh
because
God.
when we start looking at these slides, let's be honest, there's been an absolute, a lot of activity. We've had events galore. We've had lots of content. We've had lots of new content in terms of educational content. We've had a full year. So, Cap, before I start, how are you? We know we've had the House of Lords this week. So, how's your week and how's your month been?
It's been busy. Very, very busy, but very rewarding at the same time. Kind of coming off the successive conference, going straight into the House of Lords has been full on. But as always, it's a pleasure to work with kind of our influencers and members. None of what we do happens without their contributions, which we'll get to in a minute. Um, but yeah, I spent most of yesterday answering the question, why do I look so tired? And I think when people start to see these slides we're about to share, it might explain why I look so tired.
Pat, you do not look tired. You look as fresh as the day's long, as the saying goes. But look, I do know what you're talking about in terms of when we start to share these slides and talk about what the year's been for 2024. Even I look back and think, wow, how have we achieved so much with a relatively small team? But I think we both agree the reason why, one, we do it, and two, the reason how we can actually achieve these sort of events and the content schedule we do for the year is a lot down to our wonderful community.
Yeah.
And I know you and I are going to do a few shout outs today when we start sort of sharing the slides. And then, if it's okay, let's not get into trouble. You know, I'm the person who always gets into trouble in our business. We can start to give a few things about what's going to happen next year because some things are cemented in terms of dates and times. Some things we're still sort of working on, but we can give a sneak peek for the 2025 schedule, Cap. So, what I will do, if it's okay, I'm going to share your slides, Cap, and I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you to talk and walk them through. And I will comment as we go through, as I
Mm.
always do. So let me do the technology bit and slick. And by the way, if you are watching this live, because I'm pressing 3 or 4 buttons here, please pop a comment or two in the side. We'll reply live. It's the end of year one. It's the holiday season one. It's the Christmas one. It's not the New Year one, but it's the end of year one. We want to hear what your impression of the APA for 2024 has been, what you're looking forward to for 2025. Pop them in the comments. And whilst Kat's taking us through the slides, I will share them. I will comment and all that good stuff. So, Kat, over
Real.
to you when I click that. So, go on. The first slide is all about the events that we had. So tell us all about these, Kat.
Yeah, so this year we've had yet another fantastic year for events. We've had our update courses, which are one-day courses we run. So we started the year in style in Birmingham back in March, and we had another one in London in June and Manchester in July. Um, Amazing content. We covered things from the procurement bill changes to payments. We had a couple of our influencers step up and speak on fraud, which again, we'll come to those names later. So big thank you, really successful days. And I think it's, a really good event for us to kind of, they're a bit smaller and they're a bit more intimate, and we can kind of get to talk to people one-on-one a little bit more than we can at the larger events. Next was our AP Appreciation Week in May, which led to our leadership forum in the middle of the week in May. So again, it was all about leadership. We also announced our new influencers for the year. We had fantastic panels, fantastic keynote from Danny Wallace, and again, fantastic new venue as well. We went to a new place, which I believe, spoiler alert, we might be revisiting soon. Of course, the biggest one of the year, conference and awards, October 2024, biggest to date. Was the Jamie and I both took on first. Jamie did his first keynote. I did my first MCing gig. But again, the panels, the workshops from our partners, the networking, none of it happens without the entire APA team and without all of you. So thank you very much for making it the success that it was. And last but not least, on Tuesday, we visited the House of Lords for the 3rd year in a row. Again, another fantastic event. We had Liz Barkley come up and talk about the Fair Payment Code. We had panels of C-suite. So we had CFOs coming and talking about things from their perspective. We talked about digital transformation and data, clean data. Susan Walsh will not forgive me if I don't bring that up. And of course, we talked about compliance and regulations. So they were just most of our events for this year. We did have a couple of little events, little small events, but they're the big ones that we did this year.
And look, Kat, let me just chip in there. So look, firstly, a big well done and thank you, because this is your first year, full year of events. So you ran all of these. So well done. Well done from myself. Well done from the APA. And well done from the community. I'm sure I can see them all comment, as you can see at the bottom, Kat. They're all saying how much they loved it. That is that's no small feat to go and do those events. And let's just remind the audience who are watching and maybe watching back if you're at Christmas party time. Every one of those events are sold out and they're full to the brim, literally. So as we go through each event from Birmingham at the sort of the start, we have a room which maxes out about 50 for our updates. There's 50 people there. Appreciation Week, the IET where we stayed, 150 people. There's 150 people there. The Leadership Forum events on the 15th of May, it's exactly the same. The update in London, we max out at 60, 70 people there. Manchester, exactly the same. Lots of content speakers. All of the rooms are full. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this, and I'll talk about conference in a second, is that we are very aware that you have day jobs. The community is watching this. You have day jobs. Kat and I, this is our job. You know, our job is to put these events on, and we have the luxury, if you like, to go to these events, make sure they're all great for you, got great content. But we are aware also that you're only allowed that many days out from your employers. And also, the reality comes down to, if you can only have 2 or 3 days, the other days you take to come and visit conferences, updates, Manchester, Birmingham, wherever it is, House of Lords, you're taking holiday. So that just shows commitments. And that's where I thank you as a community, because I spoke to a bunch of people, Kat, on the House of Lords earlier this week, who were taking days holiday and paying out their own pockets for travel. That is just total and utter commitments. And we thank you so much for doing that, because we would love to do an event every week, but we're very conscious of the fact we can't, because we want you to be there in your masses and really get the value, etc. Now let's talk about conference and awards. Kat, yes, spectacular. You know, we had just shy of 500 people join us on the day, and just over 400 people for the gala dinner awards, and it was phenomenal. You know, it really was just amazing. And it set the bar, because we're going to talk about it in a second, but it's our 10th anniversary next year. And let's just, you know, every year everybody says to you and I, Kat, how are you going to improve on last year? What are you going to do? We don't get a choice this year, because as we go into our 10th anniversary, it literally is. I've got the kiddies' piggy banks. I've smashed them all to smithereens. I've got the coffers from down the sofa. We will do, as we always do, we try and improve, not improve from a size perspective as the audience grows, but the content, the speakers, and the experience that you all get. So trust me when I say the conference and gala dinner for our 10th anniversary is and will be something really special. And I know it will be. But we can't give you a spoiler alert on just that one yet. The House of Lords, Kat, was super successful. You did an amazing job. You're right. We had our panels. All our panels were amazing. I interviewed Liz Barkley at the start. She was great. Really chilled, actually. I thought she was really, really chilled, really engaged with the audience, which was amazing. And to take the time to do that, we really appreciate Liz. But great, all the content was brilliant, but it was lovely to see so many C-suite people join us at the House of Lords this year. And what I felt really, what really drove back the message on the C-suite was, one, they all understood the challenges we have in AP and P2P, and two, how complimentary they were about the hard work we all do. So trust me, the House of Lords, not only was it just amazingly attended, it was not a seat in the house, if you like, but it was also, the content was really on point this year. So well done, Kat, and well done to our community. It was just such a super successful content bill, if you like, throughout the year. So let me stop rabbiting on, Kat. Panel topics. Go on, tell us a little bit of some of the stuff. This is just a selection of stuff that we talked throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't everything. This is just a selection, because otherwise I think Jamie and I would be on here till 2026. So the main thing about the panel topics is it is driven from our House of Lords event. So for the House of Lords 2023, we did a workshop at the end and asked what the community wanted to see in the following year. And that's where this has been driven from. We've done the same this week. We've done that workshop again. So at some point in the next week, I'll be starting to collate all of that for the 2025 to-do list. That's what we call it, Cat's to-do list. So thank you for that. Very interesting topic so far. But what we covered in 2024, we had a panel on navigating leadership dynamics in AP and P2P. We actually did a panel on aligning the C-suite agenda, which was actually the flip of what we did this week, where it was full of accounts payable leaders talking about the struggles they have with their C-suite. So it's quite nice. At the end of this year, we've bookended it by bringing the C-suite on and kind of doing the counter. We had business partnering and future state of AP and P2P. So that was at our forum event where we talked about business partnering with other departments. Of course, a lot of what AP do is about people. So we talked about high performance team building and driving rising stars at our leadership forum. We did building collaborative teams from silos to synergy. Obviously, silos was a big topic for this year, breaking silos with O2C, with procurement, with treasury, and everything in between. So we've done a lot on that this year, and we covered a lot of that in our update courses as well. So then we come on to our conference. So learning from the past, AP fraud case studies. So it was a bit of a different approach for a panel where we asked one or two panelists to come on and talk about fraud they've experienced and talk about it in a really in-depth way. The other panel at conference this year was building collaborative teams. I think I might have just already touched on that one. And we had a panel from bottom line of back office to strategic asset, unlocking the power of AP. So again, a theme at the back end of this year, which I think we'll take into next year, is us adapting our thinking of becoming a strategic function rather than that back office transactional function. And then we come on to the House of Lords panels this year, which was the compliance advantage. So obviously we touched on the Fair Payment Code. How could we not? Coming off the back of Liz Barkley's Q&A with Jamie. We talked about empowering a digital future. We had Patsy Christensen, Susan Walsh. We had someone from Microsoft and Sarala coming on to talk about the digital future. And finally, we had that panel with the C-suite perspective. And what was really nice at the end of that panel, Jamie, which I don't think I've had a chance to tell you, is we had other CFOs in the room approach me afterwards, said if we ever do a panel like that again, they wanted to put their hat in the ring to do it. So very interesting.
Yeah,
And
look,
like I say,
Kat,
that's just some of them.
yeah, that's a small snippet from all those events. But what's interesting is all those panels are driven generally from our audience, our community.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, okay, we come up with some fancy titles and names, and that's just so we can show some interest. But what we've got to really remind the people watching or watching back live is that all of this thing on here is relevant to educational thought leadership content. We don't just do it because somebody pays us to be on a panel, because we don't do that. This is all educational. It's all CPD accredited. All our panels, our events are all CPD accredited. And as we've improved, if you like, the quality of the panels and the discussions, so have the people and the content, and the engagement has just gone through the roof this year. So look, again, I know we've got a slide in a second where you're going to say some shout outs and some thank yous, but I just know when I started, and I'm going to use the I rather than the we, I started this over 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago. It was little old me worrying about how I'm going to get anybody to even listen to what we're all about. Roll forward 10 years now, and whilst we've struggled on occasion to get speakers, Kat, we don't get that issue any longer. Let's be honest. We have people literally fighting to be on stage because the confidence is there. They've all got a voice. They've got a platform and a voice, which is what we provide with them. But what I'm super proud of is that all those topics are driven by people within our industry. These are thought leaders. These are on the front line. They're doing their jobs every day. And what's wonderful is when you get a C-suite or two who go, look, great content, and I want to be part of this, and I want to be part of that community. That's when you know, yes, okay, we're at the Lords, the House of Lords, and it's from the highest place we can go to. But when C-suites are really listening to us and sort of impacting, that's when we know we're making a difference, Kat. So well done, well done to you, and well done to our community. So let me skip on to the next slide. Come on, you're going to do your shout out now. Look at the list of panelists, and I bet you any money, Kat, we've missed one or two. If we have,
for sure.
blame me, not Kat, if we've missed your name. But here's a selection of people that have helped us throughout the year. Kat, give them a shout out.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to get my best bingo caller voice going. So obviously this year we've had some incredible panelists. So here we go. Thank you very much to Philip Spence, Chelsea Adrian, Rebecca Pert, David Place, Nicholas Brealey, Teresa Foxall, John Tallon, Richard Ransom, Christopher Lawrence, Diane Bamford, Nesh Bogle, Jason Palmer, Joanna Baines, Joe Cooper, Rachel Michaela, Gemma Durham, Rob Tuckwell, Brian Carlton, Chris Sanders, Alicia McPhail, Jessica Caldry-Dale, that's a long name, Chloe Jones, Ben Hartnage, Samantha Vaughan, Kevin Robertson, Joseph Selwood, Rebecca Howard, Rachel Long, Robert Brooker, Gillian Seath, Stuart Griffiths, Brad White, Susan Walsh, Patsy Christiansen, Oliver, I'm going to butcher this name, Oliver Gallian, Augs Vidar from Microsoft, Anthony Thorpe, and Rachel Pugh. And a bit of a special thanks to Danny Wallace, Mary Schaefer, Penny Mallory, Alex Staniforth, Penny Mallory. Have I said Penny Mallory's on there twice? Liz Barkley. It's good being a Geordie because you can talk quite fast, so you can get through that slide quite quick with a Geordie voice.
Who wins the bingo prize? But Kat, look, I'm glad you said all those names I did. You did an awful lot better job than me. And look, Penny's on there twice because you did such a great job. But yes, and these are speakers. These are people that have been at our events. They've been kind enough to take their time out and take their time to listen and to hopefully educate and inspire. And what a wonderful list that is. And that list changes. So years gone by, people have come and gone, and we've had the same speakers because people want to do speaking. But what an amazing group of people you've got there, Kat. And look, some of these might be, in the 2025 agenda, absolutely. But what we do is, and if you're listening to this live or you're listening back, why not put yourself forward? Kat, I promise you, she's lovely. She looks after you. She really does. She coaches you. She guides you. And yes, okay, on occasion you might be speaking in front of 500 people, but what a way to do it. So my sincere thanks to all of those people on that list. My sincere thanks to everybody who actually supported those people on that list as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm very aware that the teams that come along and listen and support their managers, their leaders, and they cheer them on. So just think of those managers and leaders times 10x all those other people that support them. There's hundreds of, if not thousands of people that support this group of people. So Kat, well mentored, well guided, and thank you to each and every one of those. And I've been fortunate to listen to all of them. And yes, we've got keynotes like Danny Wallace, Mary, Penny, Alex, and Liz, who did some keynotes for us throughout the year. But you know what? They are literally paid speakers. They're professional speakers. I promise you, all the people on this really should be paid speakers and sort of professional speakers. So well done, all of those on that list. And thank you, Kat, for guiding all of these through that great agenda we had. I think.
And on the topic of 2025, some of the people in the community know that next year I'll be doing some drop-ins and some learning lunches. So anyone who wants to develop into speaking, we're going to be doing mock panels. You can just get some advice from me, possibly Jamie, other people who have done it, because obviously not my way is the right way for everybody, so that'll be coming in the next year. So drop me a DM or an email and I'll start pulling those together for next year.
Perfect. Thank you, Kat. So, okay. So let's have a quick think of some of the content you've done, Kat, from an educational point of view, because each month you do a huddle. Some are attending a little more than others, but every month you turn up and you get our members together and you have some really engaging content, which is the huddles to the side. You then run a series of masterclasses. And just as a reminder that masterclasses, yes, most of the masterclasses will be sponsored. So we'll have partners or sponsors that effectively want to give their message, but it's all very thought leadership. It's all about what can we do? What can we change? What's the perception? What technology is doing? What's the world of fraud look like? So although some of these massively might be sort of, if you look at the titles, you might get misled a little bit. So that, there's titles in here, data analytics for AP optimization in the huddle. Yeah, okay, you might just think, okay, it's a bit of a data panel. Do you know what? When you listen to the huddle and the content and the conversation, it expands hugely. We talk about, the great dashboards that Kat has been working over the last year or two. So each and every one of those huddles and masterclasses have been super successful. And the other thing I want to remind people of, Kat, is that not only do you run these live on a monthly basis, we also record those and they go into our membership portals. So all of our members get this on content on demand. So all of our members, you know, the members that we are sort of the brand new members we brought on in 2024 have got all of this content that you've done for years, you know, a couple of years now, Kat. So it's great. And I don't suggest we go through each of those in detail. No. But if there was one or two, Kat, that you picked out and went, you know what, that was such a great conversation, I just wanted to mention it. Is there one or two in there you really wanted to pick out?
So I think leadership and professional development for AP managers was a really good huddle we did this year. Actually, the first one we did of the emotional intelligence was really good. It was nice to kind of get some people talking about how you can't really look after other people until you look at yourself, and people hadn't really considered emotional intelligence in their role and the part it plays, and that some of the audience were actually already doing it. They just didn't realize they had that emotional intelligence. Masterclasses, actually, I am going to give a bit of a shout out to Philip Spence and Gemma Durham, because once or twice when we were in a bit of a bind and didn't have a presenter, they jumped in and presented for us very lastminute.com and did fantastic jobs. But yeah, we've had some fantastic masterclasses this year. Special shout out to Chelsea Adrian for use, because again, she usually teaches, again, we talk about me and technology. Usually when we jump on the masterclasses, she's usually telling me how to do things in the platform to help the masterclass. So yeah, there's been some fantastic content and I can't wait to see what we produce next year.
Perfect. Thank you, Kat. Okay, I think we've got one or two slides left. Okay, yeah. So one of the things we wanted to do was really as well say a big special thank you to all our sponsors and our partners. And we have partners that cover lots of different areas. And, you know, let's just remind people why we have sponsors and partners. One, because they're already in your industry. They're talking, they're educating, they're, you know, thought leading or whatever it is, or consulting with you. So it's not just about trying to sell you a new solution, a new ERP or an automation solution or a scanning solution. These are people who they're willing to listen and learn and try and roadmap you. You know, effectively, what is it you as customers want? What can they do to assist? So that's the first thing. The second thing is the reason why we as an association have sponsors and partners is because we try wherever we possibly can to do all the events we spoke about earlier. So we try and put them on. We try wherever possible to keep the cost as low as we can for our community and our members. And that's what the sponsors help us with. So we take some of their sponsorship, we then go and, you know, put great events on, we go and pay for keynotes, and we put all the things we do, and all that time and effort goes in because our sponsors are there to support us. So it's a big, big thank you from the association to all of our partners. Whether you've, you know, sponsored big conferences, gala dinners, whether you've looked at forums, whether you've done a masterclass with us, or whether you've been part of the community, whatever you've done for us throughout the year of 2024, we really, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And we hope and we know that that will be super successful to 2025. Let's have a quick shout out to Mike Paverley, who's done a great job looking after our partners, and the wonderful Paige you'll see in the comments. Yeah. Paige, everybody comments about how lovely you are, how you look after all the partners. And that's the nice thing that we have, that we do really put our time and effort in to looking after our community, our members, and also our partners. So thank you, Paige, for all that you did, and Mike. Wonderfully, we've got some new people who've joined us team. So we've got Ross Batten, who's rejoined us. Ross used to work for us on our group level a couple of years ago. He's rejoined. So he's come back as head of strategic partnership, which is great. He's already started with a bang. He's already talking to our partners. And the more partners Ross manages to attract in, the more that you and I get some budget to spend, Kat, so we can go and get some new speakers or whatever it will be. And look, overriding though, we can't do what we do without our membership, our community, and our partners and our sponsors. So thank you for all of your support with everything you've done this year. So let me take that off now, Kat. There we go. Right. Let me quickly show a few of these. So as we're going through, I'm sort of posting and sort of saying thank you to everybody from in the community. So, Kat, look, let's be careful with what we tell and what we cannot tell. But let's have a look with a little bit of a crystal ball into 2025. We've got more of the same. So you'll expect probably a similar schedule to next year, but a little bit more. And what I say there is that we're also very aware that we want to go and do some more regional stuff. We want so that teams of people can probably attend some regional events. So with some support with the great team at Hayes, we're going to do more regional networking, peer-to-peer networking events as well. We had one about a month ago where we did one in Bristol, and the great event that was. Kat, you led that one on our behalf. We had 20 or 30 people in a room where we did some peer-to-peer networking. We had some great speakers like Ben and a few others that were spoke on that day. And the idea there really is so you get to meet others within the community and you can share. Very similar to what we've got, Kat, in our influencer group with the wonderful stuff that we do in our influencer WhatsApp group. We've got our brand new ambassadors for 2025. And we've got a full schedule for those guys, near enough 20 ambassadors. And the amazing thing for us as having ambassadors, these are people that are just so passionate, they really are. And hopefully at some point when I hang up my shoes and I can go off into the sunset at some point, not only has Kat got somebody that can step into her role maybe, but we've got a whole community of people that really want to do and be recognized for that. So thank you to all our ambassadors this year. But 2025, we're going to see more regional events. Yes, AP Week turns up. It always does. Slightly later this year, Kat, it's the third week in May. I can confirm that the forum, the AP and P2P leadership is on the 21st of May. I know that one. So we can do that. Well, I don't think I'll get in trouble for that one, but I probably will do. So that's definitely happening again. The conference, we know it's we know the rough date, and we're just in final negotiations. So look, if you've got, so let's say 3 days a year that you're allowed to go and do an event, the 3 to hold on to, I promise you, is the forum event, the APMP Leadership Forum. That's an amazing event. The conference is just a no-brainer because it's 10th anniversary. And we'll know more about that in January. So we will tell everybody in January, because I already see others, trying to sell event tickets for next year and all this good stuff. And I get it, in the industry, you've got a bit of choice. But I'm just sort of saying that you've got 3 choices with us: the forum one, the conference in October, and then obviously we always do a House of Lords or an end of year event. And again, 10th anniversary. So remember, whatever we do for the whole year, it will be something special. Not just the conference, all of our events will be something special. So earmark those three things. We definitely always do those. We will be putting some new events in place as well. Kat, you've got some ideas that you want to sort of mix up some of the content. So some of the huddles may be changing. Some of the masterclasses will be changing in some of the format. We're doing some on-demand stuff as well. So we're doing some on-demand webinars, because what we're also very conscious of is that our partners want to get their messages across to our community in a faster pace. So rather than wait for a monthly basis, we may put some of those live in some of our membership platforms as well. So it's not as though anything's slowing down, I'm afraid, Kat. We're going to accept a bit. But actually, because you've got the great ambassador community as well as support, I'm hoping that you will be able to achieve that and more. What are your thoughts, Kat? Because we can't say too much more, but that's the snippet of what I've got to tell everybody.
Same. I'm sort of like, I don't want to be the one getting in trouble, since you've done such a good job at not saying anything for change. Like, I can't be the one who spills the beans. But no, there's a lot happening. And also, with the help of the ambassadors, we're starting to work on the membership content as well. So there's going to be new templates coming out for people to use. I've been working on new enterprise modules. People will be thrilled to hear there's nearly 20 ready to go out of a possible 60. So I've got a whole strategy. People know I'll have a framework to work to. And potentially, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong when I say there may be a new qualification coming out in the new year.
Yeah, absolutely, Kat. And look, I think we've told them enough now. And look, the new qualification is going to be, look, we've got not only are our qualifications award-winning, and we have been for several years, but actually, we've set the benchmark now globally, actually, for qualifications and courses and training, which is amazing. The new qualification that Kat is working on with some support is it's going to be one level above. It's a bit more strategic. It's sort of more of an end-to-end qualification. So that's as much we can say at the moment. Until it's finalized and we get that done, we have to go through all the sort of the processes we do internally as well. But I'm looking forward to that one, because I think it opens the door to so many new people, and it opens up the opportunity for more and more people to join our community. Well, look, Kat, we're at 30 minutes. We said we wanted to cap it at 30 minutes. As always, Our community in the side chat has been amazing. They've been chatting away. Any last thoughts before I give a wrap up of the year from a perspective of myself and the APA?
No, just again, a massive thank you to the community, to the members, to the partners, and to our fantastic APA team, operations, sales, marketing, partnership, and everyone in between. None of it happens without them in the background. So thank you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you, Kat. And all it's just for me, we call this reflection on success of the APA. What does success look like in an association business where we're a membership community? Success is where we've got lots of happy people. Yes, clearly we've got to make some money. We have to keep a business going, and I have business partners and shareholders who keep telling me that. But what makes us successful is we have a community of people that really do get what we do, and they get lots of value from it. They put a lot of time and effort into this, and we absolutely appreciate everything they do. We could not be where we are without that wonderful community we've built over 10 years. And I've got to remind people that, 10 years ago, there was nothing in the UK and Europe that represented this. Yes, there was an organization in the States, and they're super successful, and we follow along their success. But actually, in the UK and Europe, there was nobody that represented an association that had qualifications, that represented the community. And I'm so proud of what we've built over those 10 years. And one thing we will do and promise to do is continue fighting, getting that voice out, building that community. We're still not there yet. We've still not built it. Not everybody's heard of us, Kat. We've got a bit of a way to go, but the people that do and get themselves involved, yeah, thank you so much for what you've done in 2024, sorry. As we look to 2025, you can clearly see we've got lots of things planned for you. We hope you can join all of those events. We hope that you can become a member if you're not already. We hope to see you at these events. But we do get it. We understand that things are tight at the moment. We understand that things are being, squeezed, as they say. So wherever possible, we will always support. But we do thank you, and we really do look forward to a 10th year celebration where we really do want to see everybody. If you can make one or two of our events, please make it a priority. Reach out to Kat, reach out to me, reach out to our wonderful team. We will do what we can to support you. We really want you to celebrate the 10th anniversary with us. For now, we're going to leave you there. It has been amazing 2024. We wish every one of you an absolutely wonderful Christmas, New Year, holiday season. Enjoy yourself, make merry. Thank you for your support throughout 2024. And we look forward to seeing you and celebrating in style for our 10th anniversary. Thank you, everybody, for now. Thanks all.
Thanks.